Sometimes, trying too hard won't make your relationship better, nor will it improve what you have. In fact, overexerting yourself to keep things alive may only cause more stress and frustration for both parties involved. There are moments where you simply have to take a step back, give your man the space he needs, and walk away gracefully. Relationships should never feel like a constant uphill battle. They should feel like a shared journey where both partners are equally invested. If you find yourself questioning whether your relationship has reached that point where it's time to move on, you're not alone. It's difficult to acknowledge, but sometimes the signs are clear that things are no longer what they once were. Relationships naturally ebb and flow, but if you're noticing that the connection you once had is fading, it's important to recognize those changes early. When someone begins to pull away emotionally, physically, or mentally, it can leave you feeling lost and confused. However, understanding the subtle and sometimes obvious signs can help you make sense of what's happening. If you're wondering whether your relationship has reached that stage yet, it's crucial to pay attention to the behavioral shifts that may indicate a loss of interest. Through these 7 signs, your partner, whether he's consciously doing it or not, will reveal that his feelings have changed. Recognizing these shifts not only saves you from wasting your precious time and energy, but also allows you to start the healing process and reclaim your peace. Understanding these signs can empower you to make decisions that are best for your emotional health, rather than holding on to something that may no longer be working. So let's take a closer look at the 7 ways your guy might show that he's no longer as invested in the relationship as he once was, and why it's time to move on. 1. The communication is lost. In a relationship, communication and understanding are key. When people are in a loving relationship, they communicate openly about things that bother them, share plans for the future, and discuss what needs to be improved. However, once he loses interest, communication is often the first thing to break down. You no longer talk about what can be improved, make plans for future outings like dinner with friends, or discuss your future together. Suddenly, it feels like you're strangers. This is a clear sign that he is no longer as involved in the relationship as he once was. If your conversations are sparse and lack meaning, it's time to reassess where things stand. 2. He is disrespectful. When someone starts being rude and disrespectful, it's a major red flag. If he begins cracking jokes at your expense or belittling you in front of others, it might indicate that he no longer cares about protecting your feelings. People in love are supposed to support each other and have each other's backs, but if he's putting you down, it means he no longer values your relationship as he once did. Disrespect can be subtle at first, but grows over time. If he becomes inconsiderate, and you find yourself constantly feeling hurt, it's time to pay attention. 3. He is secretive and lies to you. A lack of transparency is another significant sign that something is wrong. If he suddenly starts making plans without you, and then lies about it, something is definitely off. For example, if he starts going away on weekends with friends and avoids telling you where he's been, it's a strong indication that he's hiding something. If you've been together for a while, you likely have an intuition for when something doesn't feel right. Trust that gut feeling and confront him with your concerns. If he's evasive or defensive, it's worth taking the next step in figuring out what's really going on. 4. He hides his phone. If he's acting suspicious about his phone, like jumping at every notification or refusing to leave it unattended, there's likely something he doesn't want you to see. You don't need to become a detective, but asking him openly about his secretive behavior can bring things to light. He may give you an excuse, but if his answer feels off or he avoids the question altogether, it's worth being wary. If he's hiding his phone, it's a clear indication that he's protecting something or someone from you. 5. Hot and cold behavior. This is one of the most confusing signs, but it's also very telling. When someone is unsure about their feelings, they often go through periods of being hot and cold. 1 minute, he's telling you how much he loves you, and the next, he's distant and unresponsive. These emotional shifts are a sign that he's struggling with his feelings, and while it may seem like he still has some attachment to you, it's not enough to keep him in the relationship. This inconsistency can be emotionally draining, so don't let yourself be caught up in this cycle for too long. 6. Constant fights. All couples fight, but if he seems to be picking fights over the smallest things, it could be his way of creating distance. If he calls you names, compares you to other women, or criticizes you harshly, this behavior indicates that he's no longer invested in the relationship. It may feel like he's looking for any excuse to break things off, and those arguments seem to be his way of pushing you away. If fights are constant, and nothing seems to resolve, it's likely time to step back and reconsider where things are headed. 7. He avoids intimacy. Intimacy isn't just about sex, it's about affection and emotional connection too. If he suddenly stops initiating physical touch, stops holding your hand, cuddling, or even texting you during the day, it's a sign that he no longer feels the need to nurture the emotional connection you once shared. This could be in the form of avoiding little acts of love like buying you small gifts or checking in on how you're doing during the day. When you're no longer a priority, it's a clear indication that he's not as invested in the relationship as he used to be. If you've noticed these signs and see that he's pulling away, then it might be time to step away yourself. Don't hold on to something that's no longer fulfilling or healthy. Every end isn't as bad as it seems. Sometimes it's an opportunity for growth and learning about what you truly want in a relationship. Love should be fulfilling, and if these signs are present, it's clear that he's no longer putting in the effort. Remember, even if this relationship is coming to an end, there are always lessons to be learned. The end of a relationship can feel heartbreaking, and it's easy to view it as a failure. But in reality, it's an opportunity for personal growth and self-discovery. Every experience, whether positive or negative, teaches us valuable insights about what we truly need, want, and deserve in a partner. The pain and confusion you may feel now will eventually fade, and what you'll be left with is the wisdom gained from the journey. Think of it this way. Relationships are mirrors that reflect parts of ourselves, and through each relationship, we learn more about who we are, what we value, and how we interact with others. While it's normal to feel a sense of loss when something comes to an end, remember that every experience in life has something to teach us. This phase of your life, though difficult, is preparing you for something more aligned with your heart's desires. The pain now is only temporary, but the growth you'll experience from this will stay with you forever. Moving forward, take the time to reflect on the things that didn't work in this relationship and how you can use those lessons to improve your future connections. It's important to understand that the end of this relationship doesn't define you. It simply marks a chapter in a much larger story, one in which you get to evolve and attract the kind of love that truly fulfills you. If you want to learn more about why men lose interest or how to reignite the spark in your love life, it's essential to dive deep into understanding your own emotional needs. By becoming more self-aware and learning what truly satisfies you in a relationship, you can better navigate future connections and ensure that they are healthy and sustainable. It's never too late to learn, grow, and create the kind of love you've always wanted. This moment is just the beginning of a new chapter for you. Embrace this time to heal, to rediscover yourself, and to focus on your own growth. Use this opportunity to focus on self-care, personal development, and building a fulfilling life on your own terms. Remember, you are worthy of love that is reciprocated, authentic, and deeply fulfilling. And with time, you will find that love, not by trying to force it, but by allowing it to unfold naturally when you are truly ready. Keep faith in yourself, trust the process, and know that every lesson brings you closer to the love you deserve.